Alright guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ammo or Mr. Baby. I'm still in the process of changing it, so if my name is Ammo, then my name is Ammo. If my name is Mr. Baby, my name is Mr. Baby. That's just how it is. Anyways, today we are doing the best beginner's guide to Dokkan. I am here with my boy DBZarrion. Say what's up, bro.
What's good, guys?
Welcome to the channel, bro. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? How's your subscribers doing, man?
I think they're doing pretty good. I don't know. Let us know how you guys are doing down in the comments below.
Sure.
So on Instagram, I asked you guys who wanted to see this guide. A lot of you guys said yes, so here we are. Now, before we hop into actual Dokkan gameplay, I want to me and Zarrion are gonna take a little bit of time to explain to you Taipings and Rarities. And don't worry, this guy is going to be probably, this series is going to be really long, but we're going to explain everything you need to know. So we're going to take you from noobs to absolute experts, right, bro?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's hop straight into it. So on the screen right now, here are the rarities in the game. We have normal and absolutely worthless. No, like that's just the truth. You use these basically to farm up, not to farm, but to like train. Rare is next with the R. Damn, what was that? Okay, raw. I said raw, dude. That's not being cut. So we got rare with the middle one. These again are useless, but you can train characters with rares. And then we have SR. Now SR super rare. These, for the most part, right, are worthless, but there are a few, and let me head to DBZ.space because I already have it pulled up. There are a few in the game that can awaken to, you know, further than SR. So if we take this in Kale for a second, for example, let me just select this. So right now she's an SR. You see, if I click awoken, she's SSR, and on the bottom right, she has this awakened form right here. We click that, and now you see that she awakens to a UR. Now, there's actually quite a few SRs, farmable SRs that do this, but like a lot that you pull from summoning, they don't do this. So pretty much they're worthless, but you know, not so much. Now we have SSR. SSR is the ones that you're aiming for. Okay, you cannot obtain a card in the game higher than SSR. Like if you go summoning on a banner, you cannot obtain a UR or an LR. I mean, you can obtain an LR, like technically, but they'll come as an SSR first. But these are the cards that you're aiming for. Now we have UR, and let me go back to DBZ.space really quick. URs, let me scroll down. URs are basically ultra rare. That's what it stands for, right? Oh, what was SSR is super rare, right?
Yep.
And then URs ultra rare. So that's just awakening an SSR. As you can, so if I do back to the SSR form, awoken, you have their SSR, and then you awaken them, and it's their UR. Now, in the Dokkan community, you'll hear a lot of you know, people say TUR. So TUR means that they're in their awakened state. So the way to tell is that their card art looks different. So if you pull this physical boo that I have pulled up here, right, just like this is SSR. You awaken him, now he's a UR. This is not his TUR, this is just his UR state. Now for him to know that he's in his TUR state, his art looks different. So now that he is in his TUR state, from what you guys can see from right here. And then we have LR, best rarity in the game. There are free-to-play ones, there's ones that you summon for. LR means legendary rare, but that's basically it for rarities. Zarrion, take away these typings, bro.
Alright, so basically for typings, we're going to start out. There's going to be 5 typings. You got AGL, which stands for agility. We got Tech, which stands for technique, right? It was technique?
Yeah. I'm sure. I think so.
We got Int, which is going to stand for intelligence. We got STR, which is going to stand for strength. And then we got Phi, or physical, which that's going to be signified by orange. So these typings are assigned to every card in the game. Every card in this game has a sign, so they're going to be one of these types. and depending on whether or not they are a good guy or a bad guy, they're going to be assigned to be a super or an extreme. Now, when you pull an SSR from a banner or a SR or an R and N, whatever it is that you pull, they're going to be assigned as regular AGL tech and STR or physical. That's the way it's going to be. They're always going to be pulled as that. When you awaken them to a UR or to their TUR, they're going to get the title of super or extreme. Now, super extreme is just basically bad or good. So every Goku in the game is going to be a super type card. Every Frieza in the game is going to be an extreme type card with some exceptions. It's really based off of that person at that point in time in the anime that the card is depicting. Pretty much every card art on the game is depicting a character at a specific time in the anime, unless it's not canon. And at that point, it takes their intentions into consideration when they're dubbing to be super or extreme. Now, moving on to when you're actually in game and you're actually fighting enemies, things. These characters are going to have advantages over other characters. So, I don't know if you can see the wheel on...
yeah, I just pulled it up.
On Amos, but yeah, so he should be showing you the wheel right now. So, we're going to start right here on the top left. So we have STR. STR is the physical. Physical is the intelligence. Intelligence is the technique. Technique is to agility, and so on. And it just keeps going in a circle. So basically what this means, when you have an advantage over a card and in the actual gameplay, you're going to have a defensive boost, and you're going to have an offensive boost. Now, some of these can be overruled depending on what character you're fighting, because there's some events that are so hard that it doesn't matter what kind of advantage you have over them. They're going to one-shot you or do whatever they have. You really don't have to worry about that if you're a beginner. If you don't have an in-game account, you're not going to be doing things like Super Battle Road or Legendary Goku or Infinite History events. So you really don't have to worry about that. Pretty much you can go ahead and chalk it up to if you have an advantage over that character in that specific instance, you're going to win that matchup.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much as far as it goes with the typings. Do you want to go ahead and move on to the home screen of Dokkan, or?
Yeah. Real quick, if you guys have any trouble, remembering this, a simple way to think about it, right, is like Pokemon. If you guys play Pokemon or any game like that, fire type will have an advantage over grass type. Water type will have an advantage over fire type. It's kind of the similar thing, but that's basically it. Now let's move into some Dokkan gameplay. Alright guys, so here we are in Dokkan, the infamous Let's Keep Our Promises screen, which is ironic because Bandai, when it comes to global, they, that's another topic for another day. Just know that if you play, I might as well just get this off the way now, right? There's two versions of the game. There's global and then there's JP. JP stands for Japan. That's where the game is made. It's made by Bandai Namco or Shueisha, whoever. Yeah, so JP is the original version of the game. They get their 1 year anniversary, which is like a huge celebration in January, February, and it kind of leaks into March a little bit. And global is like about 6 months ahead in terms of content. But their anniversary follows in July, August, and some of it may leak into September, but those 2 months are usually it. Now you're gonna see, if you are on Twitter or on Reddit and you follow a lot of the Dokkan guys, D-Free, Rhymestyle, Nano, Garesh, The Truth, all those guys, you're gonna see that the community talks a lot about how global is shafted. That just means that Bandai doesn't show as much attention to this global side of the game than how they show attention to JP. That's just how it is. So if you're that person that wants to be treated fairly, you're gonna want a JP account. If you're that person that likes to know what's coming and be able to save, I would suggest global, because global's that's the better account. So we click the screen. This is just a load up screen. Before we hop into the game, on the bottom you'll see there's 3 options. News. This is not where you see the in-game news. As you can see, this is iOS 6 and iOS 7 will soon no longer be supported. Like, this is not really important news unless you're on the iOS 6 or iOS 7. But this isn't where you're gonna go to see news in Dokkan. The next one is like, it says clear cache or cache clear or whatever. That's basically like throwing out the garbage. It's just like taking out old files, replacing with new ones. If you click OK, you will not be losing the characters you have, all the data, the Dragonstones, whatever. That won't be erased. So if you have any issues, loading up Dokkan, you might want to consider that. But I can tell you, in the 4-ish years that I've been playing this game with the multiple accounts I've had, I've never had to click this button. So, and then we have device transfer. This is where you're gonna go as soon as you open up the game. Let's say you have. Oh, I gotta do this again. Let's say you have a code that you want to enter. This is where you're gonna enter it right here. You're gonna click enter transfer code. If you want to sign in to an account via Facebook, you're gonna click this button right here. I'm already linked to it. That's why it says linking error. Now I gotta go back. And now let's hop straight into the game. Load. All right, here we are. The moment you log in, you're gonna see this news tab. This is going to tell you what's currently happening in the game. Each little one of these sections is gonna have a little more button at the end down here. So if you click more, you can see specifically what's going on in the game. But don't worry, we'll discuss all this stuff in later parts of the game. Zarrion, let's take care of the scouter, bro. Explain to them everything that's up there.
Alright, before I get to that, I did want to say that for the news banner, it's going to be getting an update soon, so it's going to look a little bit different. Don't be intimidated, because from what I see on the JP side of things, it does look like a lot, and it throws a lot of information at you. So don't be intimidated by
that update is coming out?
Yeah, it's about to come out. So
okay.
Just don't be intimidated. Don't think you're in the wrong place if it looks a little bit different. Still pretty much the same premise. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there so nobody's confused when they click on that. But as far as the scouter goes, all right. So the scouter is going to be where it displays your basic information about your account. So you have your name, your rank, your experience, stamina, your zenny, your Dragonstones, and the restore time. All right. So basically, your name is pretty self-explanatory. That's who you are. That's your person, your avatar on the game. Then you have your experience. So your experience bar is actually pretty helpful. It tells you how much experience you need until you get to that next rank. Rank is it's just you leveling up in the game. One thing I will say about rank, the higher you rank and the more you go, you get Dragonstones for each time you get to certain ranks. I think it's around like 300 Dragonstones in total.
I think it's more than that.
You think it's more than that?
I think so. We can look at the King Kai missions, but
we'll
get to that.
We'll update you guys on that, but I do know it's a lot of Dragonstones for just reaching like rank 500 to 600, something like that. Then you have your Zenny. Zenny's nothing that's really super important. It's not as important as Dragonstones. You still do need it, and I would rack up as much as you can, but the real in-game currency is going to be Dragonstones. That's the most valuable thing in the entire game, aside from units themselves. So Dragonstones are going to be what you use to go ahead and summon for different characters on different banners. Like I said, they're priceless in this game. You need them to pretty much get anywhere. And then you got your stamina bar, so depending on your rank, you're going to have a different amount of stamina. Once your stamina hits 0, you can use a Dragonstone to refill that stamina. And when you do use stamina, it will refill on its own, and that's what that restore in area is for, right under where your Dragonstones are kept. It'll give you a time limit for how much time it takes for you to restore stamina. I think it restores 1 stamina at a time. Like most gacha games I've been on, they restore just 1 stamina at a time per time that the time limit runs out. So yeah, I think it's something like 2 minutes or something like that per stamina refill. I don't know if it shortens the higher rank you go. I haven't really paid attention to that because I usually just use a Dragonstone.
No, it doesn't shorten the longer you rank, but I know when events come out, they'll shorten the time.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that time. But
yeah, I mean that's pretty much it with the scouter. It's gonna be really important for keeping track of your account data, but other than that, nothing else.
Yeah. So after that, we have the character wheel right here. If you just click on the LR icon or just click on the character, the Broly here, you just spin around. This is just a cool little gimmick. It's not anything important. You can just see what characters you have on the team. But to the right, we have something called Pilaf's Trove. Now, why you laugh, bro? No, sorry. So Pilaf's Trove, let me tell you, this is something that's global exclusive. This has been on global for a long time. It's never showed up to JP. Honestly, I'm not sure why, because they make money, on this with all the JP whales there is. But Pilaf's Trove is a ripoff. Okay, a lot of the things are priced very, very, very high. And keep in mind that this is a gacha game. So when you buy stones or stuff like this, you're not guaranteed anything unless you buy. If you look at this appreciation pack, you click details. They do give you one Super Dragonstone. Now you go to Baba's shop and exchange that for an actual card. That's guaranteed. You pick the card that you want. But when it comes to actually summoning, and buying tickets through these things to do summons, it's not guaranteed. So, see, this is $14. This is $9. $9 isn't too bad. $34. Was this for Ella Frieza? This 34? No. This is still for the thank you celebration. So, Pilaf's Trove is a ripoff. Now, the one thing I will say isn't a ripoff is the daily capsule. If you pick up the 15-day subscription up here, I can't get it because I already bought the other one. You get 1 Dragonstone immediately and 2 every day for 15 days. So that's 31 stones in total. If you pick up the 30-day subscription, which is the one that I picked up, you get 3 stones a day for 30 days plus 5 stones immediately. So that's 95 stones over the course of a month. If you're a free-to-play player and you have a little bit of change, to spare, I would say, picking this up is crucial because that 90 stones could be the difference. You pulling that unit that you want. But, other than that, the rest of these stuff, I mean, it's not a lot of money, $7, $8, $9, it's not a lot, but they do add up, and they're not really worth it because you can spend $8 on these training items and run through them all before you even get a unit, to their max level. It's not something you really want to be, buying from, but they do have occasional, good things in here, so you want to, stay updated with that. So you can go ahead and tackle the missions tab, bro.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and click on this little mission scroll right here. So basically what your missions are going to be, it's like it says, missions. They're going to be special conditions that you have to clear for each one, for each mission, and with you clearing that, you get rewards and stuff. For example, daily missions, there's 12 of them right now. I think it depends on what celebration is going on, how many daily missions there are, but these missions are missions that come back each day. I think these are probably some of the most valuable missions because, I mean, with events like this, you have like the Golden Weekend daily missions. I mean, you get
4 stones.
4 stones a day. That's a lot considering sometimes even when you do your login bonus, you get like 1 at a time, and like over time, this stuff adds up if you just save them up. So I would always make sure that you do your daily missions, and then so we have our Kami missions too. These are going to be ones. Most of these are going to be completed in the quest line areas. That's the main story mode. That's where you go through the quest line and you talk to Trunks and go through that timeline stuff and all that other jazz. That's a super long area. Then for Corrin's missions, these are pretty randomized. They're not anything that's super all over the place. So, like, for example, you got one like use a recovery drink. It's usually something that's pretty simple, and they usually don't give super out there rewards. I think there's one down here. It's like 3 Dragonstones for training in clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really anything that's usually spectacular. And then we got the King Kai's missions.
This is where
pretty good.
Yeah, this is where you get the stones for ranking up. Right? Let me see. So that's 5. It's 10. 5. So for 400, you hit 20 stones.
Yep.
And it keeps
going. There's a lot here. This is probably one of the most valuable mission areas. On a beginner account, there's going to be a lot more missions. I think there's 246 in total. Oh yeah, that's what it says at the top. There's 246 in total. If you think about it, most of those are going to be stones. That's a lot of stones that you're adding up.
Yep.
And then when you come out of that, you're going to go to your special missions. Now this is by far the most valuable area of the missions because this has the best rewards out of every mission area that you can go in. I mean, they have stones, they have Kais. Kais are used to upgrade the super attacks of the units that you get. They have Zenny, they have potential orbs, they have more stones, more Zenny. Just it's loaded with stuff, and if you get through all of these, you'll be sitting pretty good.
Yes, sir.
I think there's about 1,000 it says at the top, there's 1,032 missions. I've currently gone through about like 800 of them, and I still have tons of stuff that I want.
Wait. You're at how many missions does it say for you?
823.
No. I'm saying how many? It says 823 out of what? Yeah, total.
1032.
I'm at 912. What the heck?
Really?
Are you on your JP?
Nah, I'm on global, man. That's crazy. All right, so I have no idea what that is.
Wait, what rank are you?
I'm 295.
I'm 320. What? Continue. Just continue. Whatever.
That's crazy. If we find out what that's about, we'll let you guys know.
Yes, sir.
In the description. But so yeah, this is probably gonna be the most valuable area. The Supreme Kai's Trial. Now, this area is gonna be an area it's a little bit more tedious to work through. The way you're going to complete these is by going through the main quest line as well. This is going to be the area where you do unlock your free-to-play LR Vegito. That is a LR that you are guaranteed with this account. You are guaranteed a rainbow LR Vegito. You just have to work through these missions and gather the right medals. That's where he comes from. There's other.
Well, you need to have it. LR Vegito. There's been a lot of talk whether he's free to play or not because you don't necessarily pay for him, but a lot of the units that you need to get him, they come from the summons. You need specific cards with specific links. So that's why it's really tough. And really quick, just to let you guys know, as you can see from my account, I have all the LR from the SBRs. This account was grinded for me. So before you guys go in the comments and say I hacked, blah, blah, no. This account right here was grinded for me, as well as most of the EZAs. And what else? Like most of the story, I had to complete, a little bit more of the story, but that's why I have these LRs. You can go ahead and continue saying what you're going to say.
Alright, yeah, no, that's really it. There's a currency in here that you can use in Baba's shop. That's going to be the same currency that you use to purchase your Vegito units. Other than that, I think you can buy like Kai's with it and stuff. But once their main objective is to get you to use that currency to buy those Vegitos. That's mainly what the Supreme Kai's Trial missions are all about. So at the very top there is a What's Missions tab. You can click on that if anything that I said to you didn't make sense. And at the bottom, so the Accept All button. I'm gonna talk about that because when you first start, there's gonna be times where you go on a grinding fit and you decide to just grind shit out, and then you sit there and then you come back over here and you got 14 missions cleared in special missions, and you got 20 in the Kami missions, and then you got 12 in the core missions, and then you got 20 more in the King Kai missions.
Good ass feeling, bro.
yeah, it's a good feeling, and it's even more satisfying. I swear to God, when you click the Accept All button and you see all of your rewards that you get at once, and it's like a big list of stuff. Yeah. Use that button. It saves time. It really does, because I didn't know that button was there for the longest, and I would just go through and individually accept each. And we're talking about 5 to 6 seconds each time you go in there to find one and accept it. So just make sure you use that button. Again, you don't have to, but it's the easiest way, and it's really satisfying. So I do recommend. I'm gonna go ahead and head out of missions. Where do you want to start it next? Do you want to go to recommended characters?
Yeah, so I'll talk about that real quick. So recommended characters, basically, and I think does JP have this too? Do you know?
Yeah, I think actually they do. They do.
Because I know Global had it first for a while, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so this right here, recommended characters, basically is these events pop up here, letting you know that you have characters in your box that you have not grinded up yet. So let's say you need medals, or it could even be events that you haven't even touched yet, right? So, for example, I have this Kaioken Goku at his SSR. I have not awakened him, so that's why it's telling me, hey, there's, as Giru was saying up here, something sensing great energy. So it's basically just saying that you have not fulfilled your box's best potential. So if you click update, it'll tell you all the events that you have to do. I do have to grind up all these stuff, by the way. And then if there's a specific one that you want to list out, you can click the event. On the top right, there's a little star. I just learned about this like a few days ago. You click that star, and it basically just bookmark it. Wait, where's it? Oh yeah, so if you just go to bookmark, it'll show you all the ones that you're currently focusing on. It's just more of an organized tool. And then you want to talk about Shenron?
Yeah, we want to get to Shenron.
The mighty Shenron.
Right. So, anybody that's watched the anime or read the manga or kept up with Dragon Ball at all knows what the Dragon Balls are. Alright, so you collect all 7, you get to make a wish. With Purunga, there's going to be different limitations on your wishes than there are going to be with Shenron. Alright, so we're going to start with Shenron because that's going to be the basic first wish first time you summon the dragon, period. Alright, so Shenron, you get his Dragon Balls by going to different quest lines and fulfilling different conditions within those quest lines. And by conditions, I mean you have to land on that Dragon Ball when you're going through the quest. If you do not land on the Dragon Ball, even if you do complete the quest, it doesn't matter. If you perfect the quest, it doesn't matter. If you get through it in 10 seconds, it doesn't matter what you do. If you do not land on that Dragon Ball, you will not receive it. When you go into that quest line, you have to land on the Dragon Ball. Now, the way to know where those Dragon Balls are going to be and what quest they're going to be on is you can click on the Dragon Ball, and it'll give you the exact area, the exact mission that the Dragon Balls are on. So you click on that, and then you click on, I think there's an OK button or Take Me to Event button that's
quest,
right on the Dragon Ball. Yeah, it says quest. It'll take you right to it. You don't have to go through and scroll through and find it. It's not an index. This is in the goddamn library. You just click on it, and it'll take you straight to it. It's pretty straightforward. Collecting them is really easy. It's really nothing that's too hard to do. And then when you collect all 7, everything will start glowing, and then the summon button will light up, and it'll light up red, and it'll give you the choice to summon Shenron. Now, just because you have all 7 Dragon Balls does not mean that you have to summon Shenron right there. You can wait as long as you want to summon Shenron. And just because you summon him once doesn't mean you can't summon him again. There's multiple wishes that are going to be in there. And collecting them as many times as possible is going to be within your best interest because there's tons of rewards in there. Trading items, there's going to be like potential orbs, character slots, Dragonstones, extra decks, things like that. Things are going to be pretty useful, especially for somebody who's just starting the game. I would really recommend making this a top priority when you first start the game. Really, it was one of my first ever things that I did was collect the Dragon Balls, and I remember I was a noob, but I felt such satisfaction by gathering these Dragon Balls and making a wish. Now, there is an issue where if you click on the Dragon Ball and it says there's no signal from the Dragon Radar, that just means that it's
it means you haven't unlocked that quest yet.
Yeah. Okay, so for regular Shenron, that's what it means. So that's gonna bring me to Purunga. All right, so Purunga is gonna be the Dragon Ball Dragon that they use for special events. So Purunga usually gives you 3 wishes for one, and usually his Dragon Balls are only able to be acquired from the special events like the Thank You banner or something like the 300 million downloads banner or the 4-year anniversary. New Year's, Christmas, Halloween, whatever. They're usually going to make his Dragon Balls available during those times because they're special. Because when you make the wishes off of those, they give you really, really good.
Very good.
Very good. Like account saving awards. Like it's mind boggling almost, especially in comparison to the regular Shenron. Like I know I just said that regular Shenron is this great thing to do, but Purunga really puts him to shame. Really gives him like a run for his money with everything because
you get stones or
not only do you get like 2 times as much as many rewards when you choose one, like they're like better rewards overall. So like I don't know, let's say you get like a 30k turtle shell from regular Shenron. You come to Purunga and you get like 100k platinum shell, and then that'll take an SSR to UR like just by itself, just one of them. So I mean, this one's really going to be the superior summon. I will say look out for them. Usually they're collecting these are a little bit more tricky. It's not usually having to do with you doing an event. Like I know, for instance, like in the banner on the start screen, you'll find like a Dragon Ball there sometimes, or it'll be like if you go to the summon screen, it'll be like click on the dragon or on the scouter at the top of the banner, and it'll give you your Dragon Ball. Then it's really like a lot of miscellaneous things that you have to do, and they kind of change up from here to there. So I wouldn't be really frustrated if you can't find them all right away. There's usually something online you can find about some streamer or some YouTuber that knows how to get them all. So I would say that's something that you definitely want to take the time to do. Don't ever skip out on Pyramid. Ever.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. So before we head to menu, let's look at the middle. We see the boost and the start button. So that boost, you see there's 3 bars there. That just lets you know that when you hop into an event and you hit that boost button, I can just show you guys something like that really quick. So let's say I click start, I go to quest, and I do this one, and let's say I do this. See right on the bottom here, you're gonna see it says turn. You can turn boost on, and what it does is that it doubles the amount of stamina you're gonna use, but it also gives you 2 times the reward. So this is basically, if you don't have a lot of time to farm, this gets it going really quickly, and you can do it 3 times, and then it on normal days, days of Dokkan, it gives you that doesn't give you it takes 8 hours to restore each little bar. But now that there's a celebration going on, it takes 4 hours to restore each bar. So this is the time to be grinding, your events. And then below that we have the start button. If you click the start button, 5 options are going to pop up. You have the quest, which is what I just showed you. Just a brief explanation, because we'll go into these in different videos. The quest is the single most important thing for new players, because when you go into quest, there's 27 areas for you to clear. And each area has their own stages. So this area 1 has 5 stages. So there's gonna be each stage has their three different difficulties. And once you are on the last stage of an area, each difficulty will give you 2 stones. 2 stones for clearing. So there's a lot. There's like 1,300, 1,500 stones. Is it?
1,596 stones in the entire quest line.
Yeah. So this is the place where you're going to get your stones, and like Zarrion said earlier, stones are going to be what progresses your account forward. Without stones, you can't really get anywhere. And this is the biggest deposit of stones that you guys are going to be able to withdraw from the game at a beginner level, to where you can make your account better, so where you can take on everything that's in the event tab. Now I won't click the event tab, there's a lot in there, but the event is basically where you just farm the medals to awaken your units, where you farm up free to play cards, basically that. We'll get into that in a later video. Portal of Memories, that's basically Dokkan will give out keys, and with each key you can go in and unlock a event that isn't currently available in the game. But let's say you want to grind up that last stone for an event that just passed, that Dokkan it's not available anymore, right? So instead of waiting to go ahead and for that event to come back, you can just go ahead and click Portal Memories. If you have a few keys to spare, you go ahead, run that event until you get what you need. I do recommend saving your keys. If it's not troublesome to your account, don't go ahead and waste them. That's basically that. Ultimate Clash resets how much? Like every 33 days? Something like that?
Yeah.
It's also known as Dokkan Battlefield. It's just an event that you farm up. Well, you have to defeat bosses. That is more of a experienced mode. You do need to have good teams, not only good teams, but good leaders and everything like that. We'll get into team building in another part of the series, but that's a place where you can farm up this. Let me go to treasure really quick and show you guys what is it called. Right here, Battlefield. Memory, and you can get all these cards. There's LRs you can get here. It's rewarding. It does take a lot of grinding, but once you do it, I'm telling you, it is definitely worth it. And then we have World Tournament. That's like here, like once, like every 2 months. It is definitely a big grind. But the higher you place, the bigger rewards you'll get. There's a world ranking and there's a local ranking. So local ranking, around where you are. I don't know the exact premises or perimeter of like how that calculates that. But local rewards, it's you and like a few hundred people. And then world is you going up against everyone who's playing the world tournament. It's definitely a very competitive place because people want the #1 spot. So it's basically it's like the Fortnite sweats for Dokkan. That's basically where they're going to be. You're going to have to, if you want that #1 spot, you're going to need to be on 24/7. So
yeah, I definitely wouldn't be too optimistic about reaching #1, especially on the worldwide scale. That it's almost impossible. You got people like D3 and like like the Truth and Nano, people that sit there and they play the game on stream for 24 hours straight, and they're just sitting there and just grinding away. Yeah. And on top of that, they have the units that they need. They have the Rainbow LRs and they have the Rainbow TURs and things that they need. So I mean, it's really competitive, and
Definitely,
I just don't want to get anybody's hopes up like, oh well, if you work your hardest and train for the rest of your life, then you can get there. No, it's probably not likely, not in this lifetime. I don't even know if that should be possible if you handed your account down to your grandkids. I don't like it's probably not likely. Just gonna put that out there.
And then real quick before we hop into menu, news. The news tab is again where you find all that news. When you first log into the game, or first hop into the game, this will pop up. But let's say you miss something and you want to go back to that, hit that news tab. They'll tell you everything you need to know. And then another way to collect things, right, is to go down to gift. So I did do 2, single summons. I was influenced and pulled rares by this boy Zarion here, while he pulled, AGL Metal Cooler. Who else did you pull?
I pulled like.
No, I don't care. Don't talk. No, stop talking. Stop talking. As you see, right a little bit before we started recording, he did a few singles. I got influenced, and I did some, and I didn't do so hot. But so, every time you log in, you get daily login bonuses. You come here, you click accept all. Don't accept one by one, just waste of time. You can sort it at the top right. It says from latest, so it's just sorting from latest, from oldest. It doesn't really matter. Just however you like it. Just click accept all. Don't waste your time. Click OK. You get what you got to get. And then that's pretty much it for gifts. Now, bro, hop into the menu. Alright,
all so we're going to go ahead and click on menu here. We're going to go in here. We're going to look at all of these subsections right here. Alright, so we're going to look at first things first is friends. Probably the single most important mechanic in this game, because without the friends mechanic in this game, you cannot complete any events. And I sincerely mean that. You cannot complete any events without your friends. I repeat, you cannot repeat any events without your friends.
You're required to have friends while you take on events. Every time you hop into something, you need a friend. So.
Yeah, and I know that sounds stupid, and I know it sounds like it's going to be a shortage. I promise you, there's really not. But depending on the type of friends you have and what units they have that are going to be their shared unit, it can be really difficult to find specific units. But the good thing is that I know we haven't talked about leader skills or anything like that yet. But when you have 2 units that are leaders, you have your leader, and then you have your friend. Their leader skill is what gets multiplied onto your team on top of the multiplier that you get by your leader.
Wait. Let me clarify something real quick. So when we say friend, we don't mean like an actual physical friend that you have with you. In the game, there's just a bunch of guests. Like every time you run an event, you'll see a list. Right before you hop into an event, you'll see a list of just people, and you'll see a list of cards, and you click whatever friend that you want to go ahead and with you. So we don't say friend. It doesn't have to be a physical friend you have with you. We can just it's just a friends list. It's not. You got it. Continue.
So anyway, that friend is gonna boost your team significantly. I think. Like, I have certain teams where when I go into an event, if I don't have the right friends, I'll be at 200,000 HP or something like that. Yeah. And then when I get the right friend and, I have the right leader with it, then I bump up to 600,000 HP or 500,000 HP. It makes a significant difference. Yeah. Not only that, but they can boost things like attack and defense, Leader skills are really valuable, and therefore multiplying that leader skill by 2 makes it even more valuable of a mechanic. So, right here in this area, you can go in, you can see your friends list, you can search for friends, you can have friend requests, so that's where you go in and you accept your friend request. Now, I will say that you can only have up to 100 friends. That's plenty. It really is plenty. The only thing that hurts you as far as friends is the lack of variety that people have with their units that they have shareable. Lots of people like to use that mechanic to show off their units, to show off what they have. Yeah. Like they'll put something up there that has a completely useless leader skill, something that nobody would use in addition to their team, and just have it up there to show off. So for one, I'm just gonna say don't be that guy because you look like an asshole. For 2, I'm just gonna say that if you see that, don't get too frustrated. You can always refresh and try and find new friends, or worst comes to worst, you can find a free to play friend who
I love Vegito.
Yeah, something like that. There's always somebody you can use, but most of the time when people do that, it's an ego thing, and I think that's what a lot of this game is. Everybody wants everybody to know that they have the best box or whatever. And so you can only have up to 100 friends. Don't get too discouraged if you can't find a friend or something. I know it sucks. I think that Akatsuki and Bandai need to do something about that, but well, that's a whole nother video in itself, so I'm not going to get too far into that. So then we're going to go down to Daily Capsule. Mo, he did explain this earlier. That's the subscription that you do where you get 1 to 2 stones every day. I think it's 90 stones in total over the course of, 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is where you're going to manage that information and stuff. It's going to take you to the shop, and you get to, I don't know what it looks like when you bought it, because I haven't bought it yet, so I don't know what it shows or, what options it gives you, but I do know this is where you're going to manage that information. It's fairly new, so we don't have a bunch of information on it, and we don't know how far it's going to go or what new additions it's going to have. So I would stay tuned on that one, and make sure you're looking for updates. If it's anything huge, and I'm sure we'll have a video up that's going to be covering that.
Yo, I hate to cut you off here, but we're at about 40 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, bro. So what we're gonna do, guys, we don't want to keep these too long, because what we're doing is that we're gonna break this game down for you, so you understand every single little thing and you know how to find every single little thing. So it's not just one of those guides that just teach you about. We're teaching you every single thing, so it's gonna be longer. So just bear with us. I don't want to keep these too long, but with videos like this, it can get too long. So this is where we're gonna end this video. We'll talk about the rest of these options, and then we'll hop straight into the team section. Talk about all this. This in and of itself is pretty buff, so that might be its own video. So if you guys have any questions from what we covered so far, comment them in the description. Me and Zarrion will do our best. No, not that we'll do our best. We will answer your questions. We're active on that almost all the time. Yo, you got anything to say before we head out?
No, just keep your head up, guys. We'll see you next video.
Yes, sir. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. We will see you guys in the next part of the best Dokkan Battle Ultimate Beginner's Guide series there is on YouTube. I'll see you guys next time, guys. I just said guys twice. I'm stupid. Peace.